It's a nostalgic return for Big Artie. 16 years since he last won a premiership for Redcliffe here at Lang Park. But for Souths, it's even longer. 28 years since Mick Crocker's Magpies last took out a premiership for Souths. What's more, Bob McCarthy's team has lost the last two grand finals under Wayne Bennett to Valleys in 1979 and last year under Bobby McCarthy very narrowly to Norths. Looking at the two sides, they're unchanged. Firstly, Redcliffe. And whilst the veterans Bunny Pearce, Tony Obst and Arthur Beetson will face their pressure from the hot conditions, the youngsters, 19-year-old Trevor Benson and later Atoy and 20-year-old Steve Bleakley will find nerves their greatest enemy. Souths, and for them, 7 of their starting lineup played in last year's grand final, so they have the advantage of that experience.
And Bunny Pearce is given the honour of leading out the Redcliffe side, and why not? The 34-year-old veteran will be playing his last game today. It's his 150th A-grade game for Redcliffe. Probably close to 30,000 people. It's very hot, but nevertheless they're enjoying the sunshine. The atmosphere is electric at the moment, and leading them out will be Bruce Askell, their skipper, I'd say. Yes, Bruce Askell, captain of the Magpies, possibly playing his last grand final today too. He's hinted that this may be his last season. And look at him, he's psyched up. You can hear him talking to the crowd, talking to the players. And these Souths players may be smaller in stature, but they're big in heart. Stan Scamp, the referee, has blown the whistle, and the game is underway. A good deep kick goes to Mick Waller. Put down just inside the quarter. For the Rossman's gold medalist last year, Tony Obst. Sally, Harry, Meninga on the burst. Look at him hit that pass. So the first opportunity in the game for Redcliffe to put points on the board. Bunny Pearce, a 32-metre kick. He's hit it out to the right. It's coming back, and there's first blood in the grand final. Redcliffe 2, Souths 0.
Opportunities won't come.
Redcliffe easily pushing Souths back that time. And Souths getting the penalty against Redcliffe, collapsing the scrum. They've taken the tap. The floated pass to Thompson. He's in. No, the referee's blown the whistle.
Forward pass. The ball's gone forward. Stan Scamp has ruled it, and not an offside play, just the ball going forward. Here it is again. Quick tap here from Sully. Good thinking from Sully. And good position also there from Billy Johnson to get up out of the scrum. Over the ball goes, and obviously a forward pass. Scrum.
Harry in. Harry scored the try. So Souths have scored the first try of the game. With Sully it was, not Bruce Harry. Taking the initiative again, catching Redcliffe unawares. And they go over and score the first three-pointer of the game. I must admit, I was looking at the replay, and it was hard to pick that one up. But let's see it again, and you'll see Brad Sully, the man who took the tap, going, we can't pick you up for a replay of that because we were showing you the previous one. The scorers, here's Meninga with a fairly simple kick. It's just a matter of accuracy. He's got it. 5-2. Billy Johnston appeared to be packing with a loose arm there, but Redcliffe have got it. Part. Benson, Pearce. Pearce striding through a gap. Benson. Great run by the veteran. He's still got an overlap if they use it properly. Atoy, Cherry, stepping one, stepping another. He'll score. No, he stopped short. Penalty. Yes, penalty, double movement. Doubling that from head on. Lumbee at dummy half. Johnston. He's looking for Meninga. He's got it to him. The big fella bumps Benson out of the way. Didn't he hit Benson then? And another player's down too.
Concussed for quite a while, and it came about from this charge from Meninga. The inside pass here, a nice neat one, and Meninga crashes his hip, runs wide. There's Meninga taking the ball now, and then he takes on Abbott coming in low there. There's the arm to knock him away, and then crashes into Beetson. See you later, Big Artie, because Malcolm Meninga's here, and that's the sort of inspiring stuff they're going to need from Meninga today.
Sully's kick, you can see Lumbee indicating it's going to go up. It'll be a bomb. Instead it goes to Harry. It's a field goal attempt. It's charged forward. Another shot at field goal, this time by Spencer, and it's hooked across. Yes, it's there. What a kick. Well, have a look at that one from end on. That was an amazing one. 2 field goal attempts. The first one charged down, and have you ever seen that before, Dave?
Never before, Peter. That could be the omen for South's day, because here it is, right back to Harry. Can only do one thing, and that's have a shot for field goal, because he's that far back. Jones does well to charge it down, and of all people, it lands right in the arms of Ken Spencer, around about 30 metres out to the right-hand side. Great set move, this from South, and then Spencer just lines it up, and as cool as you like, bang, we'll have another go, and gets a one-pointer out with only seconds to go before half-time.
In fact, the ball hits the post, as you can see, and goes in. So a one-pointer. It gives South the lead of 6-2. It's anyone's game still, Dave, but I still feel this heat might affect Redcliffe more than South.
I think it has, Peter, already. South looking the best side by far. They're finding gaps, they're backing up well, and of course their defence, I think that's what's really put them in such a good position. It's been impregnable. Everything Redcliffe has thrown at them has been just to no avail. They've had a challenge. When they've had their backs to the wall a couple of times, they've had players off. And here's an interesting penalty. This is well within Bunny Pearce's range, and would surprise me if Pearce doesn't take the 2 points here, and it would be a good start in the second half for Redcliffe.
Bunny Pearce once again. So far he's kicked 1 out of 2, and here's his third attempt. It's over. Griffiths. Oh, charging tackle by Daryl Higgs again. My geez, tackled well in this game. Last tackle. The bomb again. More pressure for Spencer. Bunny Pearce knocks it down. Yes, he's given the try.
How did Bunny Pearce hang on to that one? The ball bounced back to him. He seemed to just wedge between his thigh and his arm, and Bunny Pearce has still hung on to it to go across for the try.
Behind his back.
Unbelievable stuff from Bunny Pearce. Probably one of the best handlers in the game, and that's why Bunny says he's retiring, but gee, he's still got those brilliant ball skills. The perfect bomb from Tony Obston. Spencer getting heaps of pressure. There it goes. Up she goes. Spencer underneath it, but boy, these are hard to take. He keeps his eye on the ball. He does everything right, but he just doesn't take the ball, and that's the most important thing. There's the ball coming down. Tiny obstructs him. Here comes Bunny Pearce. Hooks it somehow. Brilliant reactions there from Bunny Pearce. Holds it behind his back. How did he do it? I can't believe it. And Bunny Pearce grounds the ball.
He's got it behind his back, and he's kicked the goal as well. But Bunny Pearce scoring a try with the ball tucked in behind the small of his back. That gives Redcliffe a 9-6 lead. Sully, Harry. Bruce Harry's fended off Benson and hit the clear. He's looked for support. Found Thompson. And Thompson picked up by the cover defence. Lumbey was unmarked. Offside.
Professional penalty.
Now, if Meninga kicks this goal, the difference will be only 1 point. It's almost straight in front. A simple kick. Yes, 9-8. It's out. Johnston. Back to Harry for a shot at field goal. It's low, and it's missed.
And then a field goal's always at last resort.
2 minutes left. Redcliffe lead by 1 point, 9-8. South have used up 1 tackle. Phelan. Strong run from the 1981 Rothmans medalist. 2 tackles gone. The crowd going berserk. Lumbey's left it on the ground, knocked back. Sully picks it up, 3 tackles. Meninga coming across to the right, but it goes to the left. Daryl Higgs. That's 4 gone. Now Spencer's in behind the ruck. He's calling for the ball. It's gone to Sully. Sully trying to set himself for a kick. He's made the half break. 5 tackles gone. 1 minute left. They're running it. Phelan. Meninga. Reardon will score, I think. He's in. That could be the one that wins it. Mick Reardon's gone berserk. So too is the crowd. And that puts South in front. 11 points to 9. The kick to come. Could be third time lucky.
Yeah, it is third time lucky, and South are ecstatic. Great work from Phelan to get this side of the ruck. He knew that Redcliffe were in trouble. So did Meninga. Quick hands from Meninga. Bang out to Reardon. Reardon's on the spot to score the try. He goes for the corner. Troy infield. He can't get to him. There goes Reardon in the corner. That's the winning try. That's a grand final try. And really, South, I think, had deserved to win this match. It would have been an injustice, I think, because Redcliffe haven't done one thing in the second half apart from put that bomb there. They haven't been able to get out of their own half. And there goes Mickey Reardon with plenty of room to move. The cover defence coming across, but a toy isn't going to get to him. Mickey Reardon scores a grand final winning try, a premiership try, and South get their just desserts. Good.
There's Meninga's kick. That could be the icing on the cake. The crowd's gone berserk. The players are running around with their hands high above their heads, and Souths take the premiership back to Davies Park for the first time in 28 years. The last time they won it was back in 1953, and Mick Reardon sets the seal on a fairy tale finish. Third time lucky for Bob McCarthy's Magpies, and they win the 1981 premiership and the Winfield Cup, defeating Redcliffe 13 points to 9.
near capacity gate of about 35,000 people. A very warm, fairly still afternoon. We'd think the temperature to be about 25 or 26 degrees.
Thanks, Arthur. We've got a replay here of last year's grand final, of course, and that was when Wynnum Manly thrashed South 42 points to 8. I don't see that happening this afternoon, though. South's a much improved side, and Wynnum Manly not in the same form they were in 1984. South's, on the other hand, different kettle of fish. They played particularly well this season. They won 10 out of their last 11 matches, so their form is really first class. And I think the Magpies, if they can control possession, and that's so important, you must keep the ball away from Wynnum Manly. They're too good in attack, and you must control possession if they're going to beat them this afternoon. We've got a replay of last year's grand final, 42-8, Wynnum Manly won it. Is this side a better side that you got this year than the one last year?
It's a better team, David.
Have you learned anything from last year, and what in particular have you learned from that one match?
Oh, yeah, I learned quite a few things. I suppose that the most important thing I learned is that you have to have players that maybe not as flashy as some other players, but they play with a fair bit of determination and courage for the 80 minutes.
Thanks, Wayne, and good luck today.
Thanks, David.
And there we are, a sign there saying farewell and best of luck to Mal Meninga. And of course, Mal Meninga has signed with the Canberra Raiders for next season, and this will be the last time he plays for South here at the Lang Park Stadium. Taking the field, and all eyes on the tunnel now to see whether big Mal Meninga will come out for South. Under a severe injury cloud prior to the match. There he is, the big fella, and he comes onto the field. Of course, he's had injections in that knee, and good news for the Magpies that Mal Meninga is able to take the field in his grand finals, the last grand final he'll play. They're the Wynnum Manly side as they take the field, captained by David Green. There's been an injury cloud over three of the players. Colin Scott, Gene Miles, and David Green himself, the captain, have been on injury clouds during the week, but they've all come through it okay.
So it's Wally Lewis to start play in the 1985 grand final. A very deep kick as it goes well down to Belcher. And South fullback 10 metres out from his own line. And the first mistake by Wynnum Manly.
Lewis in great cover defence to fix up his own mistake.
Can kick through in the play of the ball, and it runs into touch. Penalty.
Yes, you're not allowed to kick, and Wally Lewis querying that. The rule states the ball must be on the ground. So is David Green querying it.
Gary French attempting to put first points on the board. It's a pretty good attempt too. And the flags are up. The Magpies go to an early lead of 2 points to 0.
That's just the sort of tonic that South would have been looking for.
Across to French, out wide to Meninga. Meninga sends that pass to John Elias, the second rower standing there, back a bit risky, that pass picked up by Meninga. Oh, look at that. Players bouncing from players off there.
Big Mal's fair dinkum today.
Hooker's pass across to the 5'8" French. There's Meninga. And starts to get going, Meninga. Look at Meninga tripping, getting over that pass, over that area. Sends his pass, goes astray, picked up by Wallace. And Wallace has it for South still. Almost lost it for a moment. Also Meskel in there, the front row forward. Flicks across the doors to Lewis. A longer pass out wide to Brett French in the centres. Gets away from Meninga, gets around Meninga, over the halfway mark. Brett French kicking ahead, and the chase is on. The bounce favouring Wynnum Manly. Brett French gets it eventually, and almost there. Butler, how close did Butler go to plucking it out of the air? But French picking it up eventually. The bounce favouring Wynnum Manly. The luck of the game, it's a penalty to Wynnum Manly, being held down by South. All the scores, he's got a 64% record this season, and there it goes. The flags are up, and it's 2-2 after close to 14 minutes of play. Eddie Muller, the hookers, there to distribute. French, Tronk, the second row forward. Peter Jackson in the centres, and found the gap there between Dowling and another player up there. And a good run from Peter Jackson. Good run indeed. Wynnum Manly defence held off there. It's a penalty too against David Green.
Craig Ferrugia, I think it was, after
Ferrugia,
who was playing back at fullback with Colin Scott getting attention on the sideline. Let's have a look at it. That's a great tackle there from Ferrugia.
Very even match so far.
Yeah, nothing in it.
French kick, there it goes. And it's there. So the Magpies hit the front again, leading by 4 points to 2. Muller and switch back to Jackson on that blind side. Peter Jackson tries to get he does get his pass away to the fullback up there. Fullback gets his he broke away from that tackle, Belcher. Belcher did very well then. He was stopped several times it seemed, but now with great determination and strength he's 30 metres out to win a Manly line. Cullen's pass out to French. French sends it on to Elias. Elias starting to move now, running strong. Look at John Elias over the quarter line. The pass comes back inside now to Norm Carr. Gets up off the ground. Carr, can he keep going? And he got the ball down. Norm Carr, yes he did. It's a try to Norm Carr and the Magpies lead by 8 points to 2.
Great try from South. It first came from a great break down that right-hand side with Belcher chiming in beautifully to go a long way downfield. Winnemandy had never recovered, and then South got the ball back out along their back line. I thought John Elias maybe had picked the wrong time to run, but he really accelerated. Elias has read this game so well. Here it is again. This is where it comes back along the left. Have a look at this. That's Elias deciding to straighten up. Winnemandy had plenty of defenders. He goes straight through the middle of them. Peter Dawes missed him. So did Greg Downs. Beautiful pass back on the inside to Norm Carr. Norm Carr had Gary French there in support. Gary French throws his hands up. Norm Carr not held, and he reaches out and just gets it on the line for a great Magpies try. Here it is again from the head on. There's Norm Carr struggling toward the line. Terry Butler just not quite strong enough to hold him out, and David Manson in perfect position to award it.
Gary French's kick. And the flags are up, and the Magpies go to a lead of 10 points to 2. That's a pretty handy lead with just 7 minutes before half-time. 5 minutes before half-time, Souths are leading 10 points to 2.
Mick Beavers there in centre screen with his new curly haircut.
Long kick over halfway. Good long kick from Belcher. And it's running well over the quarter line. An excellent kick from Belcher. And Scott right back near his own try lines to score points before half-time as Wally Lewis puts up the bomb. Fullback Belcher's underneath it, and Belcher takes it, and very well done. Belcher gets away from a lot of them. Good probably for the first time in the match, starting to look really good. Here comes Coyne. Coyne sending it back now onto Adam. Adams charging through, get the ball down, turning in the tackle, can't get it down. Yes, he's got the ball down. Adams has scored for Wynnum Manly, and the first try has been scored by the Seagulls. Souths are leading by 10 points to 6.
Boy, have we got a game on our hands. You could see it coming though. Wynnum Manly stringing the passes together. It was a beauty to put Ian French away. A couple of tackles previous to that. Souths, after this whole match, have had their defence hardly breached. They've always been in a position to contain them. After this, they were a little bit at 6s and 7s. Where's the straight line? They're a little bit lost for a straight line here. Gary Coyne gets it back to Craig Adams. Look at the determination on this young fellow. Replace Craig Perugia. Ken Gittins gets a hold of him. Gets caught down just before, certainly not a double movement. Reaches around, spins around, and gets it right down on the line.
Would take the Seagulls, Wynnum Manly within 2 points of South. There it goes. It's raised the flags. And so it's an open game again. Looks like a cliffhanger. 2 points. South leading Wynnum Manly by 10 points to 8. Inside the last minute now as it comes to Wally Lewis, sends it on to Brett French, and wow, he was wrapped up in a sandwich tackle between Meskel and Peter Jackson. David Green, the captain, is there, just outside South's quarter line. There's Wally Lewis, sends the pass to Miles. He's looking for him, but the ball has been knocked down. Fight for possession, South ball, knocked on. And so a scrum.
Wynnum Manly, loose head and feed, should win it. Brett French getting attention. Against the head. South have got the ball, and that should be the ball game.
Yes, it should be the grand final to Souths now. 22 metres out in their own line, in possession. Up there is Chris Phelan's in the dummy half position. Chris having his last game, and wouldn't he love to go out with the grand final? There's the countdown now. Chris Phelan certainly would wait. And Souths have sunk the Seagulls. The Magpies, Souths, have really shot down the Seagulls.
Yep, and look at the elation. There it is, I think. Souths really wanted to win that one. They tried so hard over so many years, haven't been able to do it. They wanted it more than Wynnum Manly today. They played some of the best football, finals football, some of the most controlled final football that we've seen here for a long time. Defence was magnificent. Wynnum Manly threw everything at them, but it was the defence around the forward pack. Norm Carr, brilliant cover defence. Look at Wayne Bennett. Congratulations, Wayne.
Certainly a fantastic grand final, a real cliffhanger, with Souths running out winners by 10 points to 8, only one try to each team. So a great day out for the Magpies, winning 3 of the 4 grand finals here today. They thoroughly deserved their victory in this major grand final, and congratulations to them, and congratulations to Wynnum Manly too for a really top performance. Souths winning the grand final by 10 points to 8. Thanks very much for being with us.
And they haven't missed the opportunity. Yesterday, the club was in all 4 grand finals at Lang Park and took away 3 premierships. The only team that missed out was the reserve grade, but their disappointment was lost in the joy of the first grade's hard-fought 10-8 win over Wynnum Manly. Last night it seemed that every Magpie supporter in the city had descended on the clubhouse at Davies Park. The supporters had a special place in their hearts for big centre Mel Meninga, who played his last game for the club before joining the Canberra Raiders next season. And today, the celebrations continued unabated. First port of call was the Alliance Hotel, which is owned by the family of Magpie prop Mark Meskel. One of the well-wishers was West's rugby union captain Roger Gould, fresh from his own club's premiership win a week ago.
And I was just passing up the road and I got accosted halfway out the street, and I valued my car and my life probably more than passing it up.
And with his victorious league counterpart Norm Carr, they shared a quiet double celebration drink.
I'm just starting to realise it now. You know, after the game I was just emotionally drained. I just sat there and I wondered what was happening. You know, I'll start to feel in about another couple of hours. I'll join the boys in a minute and really enjoy it.
But perhaps the man who had most reason to be happy was coach Wayne Bennett, resplendent in Wynnum Manly hat. Bennett had been coach of 2 grand final sides before yesterday, and both had suffered hidings.
Well, Wayne, you've known the disappointment of defeat. Does this make up for it?
Yeah, it certainly does, John. There's no comparison, believe me.
But while most players still had more celebrating to do, for some, like third grade centre Mick Taylor, the excitement was just all too much.
This is Grandstand Rugby League, Queensland Cup 2008 Grand Final. The Ipswich Jets and South Logan Magpies, live from North Ipswich Reserve.
Welcome to a very warm North Ipswich Reserve, just across the Bremer River from Ipswich City, the host of today's Queensland Cup Grand Final for 2008. What a game this should be. The Ipswich Jets up against the South Logan Magpies. South Logan have had to do it the tough way. They've come through 3 tough finals games, culminating last week in the preliminary final when they defeated the Northern Pride 16-12 in extra time. North Ipswich Reserve, David and Gavin Payne with me as well. David Wright and Gavin Payne. North Ipswich Reserve, I mean, what a historic place this is.
Yeah, Warren, this place absolutely drips with tradition. This is the ground when they used to play the Bulimba Cups, which was the symbol of supremacy in southeast Queensland rugby for many, many years. Ipswich played Brisbane here. They also played Toowoomba, some fantastic battles. I think we're going to see another great battle today. Decision, he's declined. What a football team it is. The back line is as good as any. We've said Malone and Marshall in the centres are very good players. Lewis and Lacey, the 2 L's there in the halves, they'll play a key role. If you reckon defence wins grand finals, that's where the defence starts in the forwards. That is as good a forward pack as anyone's got. Some good backup off the bench as well. It's a good football team they put on the park. Gav, who's their strengths?
Yeah, look, I was very impressed with Lewis Balcombe last week, playing on the left-hand side. Very good footballer. Phil Dennis coming off the bench added some spark when he went on from dummy half in the second half as well. I'm looking forward to a big game from them also.
Well, what a sight it is here. Great crowd in. It is warm, but it's a magnificent day, and the spirits are high. Looking forward to this grand final. The kids are lined up ready to welcome their heroes onto the ground here. And David, look, just looking at this South Logan side, the thing about them, they are, as I said, they're very strong, right across, including the backs. And they'll grind you right down to the 80th minute, and it could be one there.
Yeah, they certainly are, Warren. Of course, they are the Canberra reserve grade side, and that's been one of the reasons for their resurgence this year. They've been cellar dwellers over the last few years. Absolute credit to them to make this grand final. And one guy I want to pay tribute to is Jim McClellan, the president of South. He has held this club together basically as a one-man band to a certain extent. He's had some support, but Jim McClellan has kept this team together, and they deserve to be here on grand final day. The South Logan Magpies.
Yes, they take the field to quite a few boos from the crowd. They're outnumbered when it comes to crowd support. But the South Logan Magpies in with a chance of winning the competition. The acting captain is Brad Cross. And
Danny Coburn leads out the Ipswich Jets, and again, could not be more deserving. Danny Coburn, he is now the equal second top player in the Queensland Cup. 220th game for Danny Coburn.
South Logan running from the southern end of the ground. And we're underway here. Queensland Cup 2008 begins. Josh Lewis hands it off, and immediately
The hostilities begin.
Sweeney is a big shoulder charge. We saw plenty of those last night in the Broncos match against the Roosters, and Sweeney was knocked off his feet. He's fairly groggy too. He's normally the one dishing it out. And it was a big shoulder charge there by Daniel Joyce. They have a very fast speed of line. Telepo goes to the line, pops a pass up to Kennard. He's in, running from outside in, beautiful angle. Face-balled a couple of players just close to the ruck and found Kennard in a gap, but running that slight angle from outside in, caught the defence well and truly unawares. And South Logan have got first points on the board. There he is, faced one. Lascock it was, David. Sorry, not, it wasn't as I thought Kennard. Lascock has scored it, scoots in from outside, he ducked under as well some defenders. And South Logan, what a dream start. They came up with the big shoulder charge from the kickoff on hitman Aaron Sweeney, dislodged the ball, got the scrum, and at the back end of the play, Cy Lascock, one of the Canberra connection, has come up with first points.
Moving in is Tim Kennard, and he's hooked it to the left. He misses, but it's 4-0 to South Logan.
Two on a very hot day. Gibson out of dummy half, tries to steal a try. Did he lose it? Well, we're going to go to the video. He certainly got over the try line, and ultimately the ball ended up on the ground. Referee, or video referee, Tony Maxsood has to say, looks like he's going to get it down from there, and did. That's a fair try, I'd say. He stole out of dummy half and had to lurch forward. He's got possession there. That's downward pressure. Not a problem. They've got back-to-back tries, the underdogs. And South Logan Magpies could well have, well, they've got an 8-point lead. Gavin, they might now go to 10.
Well, what a game it is. I think, you know, not too many would have given South Logan too much of an opportunity. They obviously believe it in themselves, and obviously that's come out and shown. The Ipswich boys haven't had the footy other than that half a tackle. Here's McKenna Gibson, just dives out. They just can't stop him there. Sweeney didn't probably get down quite low enough and goes straight over the top of him and gets that football down, boys.
And of course it was down too. And it was, of course, on the back of the penalty for a high tackle by Aaron Sweeney. They'd held out for 3 or 4 tackles pretty well, Ipswich, but then they were caught on the back foot by Gibson once they took the tap. So they've been rewarded. Now Kennard, he hooks it again, but this time it's through. He converts the try. And what a start for the Magpies. What an incredible start with 2 tries. They lead 10-0.
Paul Bramley there giving instructions. And
the kicking game is very crucial.
They've had 2 basic settlers. Second man play up there to Lacey. Lacey out the back to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan goes for the corner. Oh, good defence again, the Logan boys. South Logan across in numbers, 4 of them. Covered the little set play.
Ryan keeps it going to the left. Longer ball to Lacey. Lacey sweeps onto it. Malone inside ball. Lingwadoc is through. Lingwadoc for the line. And Lingwadoc, I think, has got there.
We're going to go to the video to be sure. They love this play. If you saw our highlight package before the game, you saw Lacey put it back on the inside to Lingwadoc. It was a scholarship holder. Let's have a close look. Has he got enough control there? It was being squirted out. Might be just enough. I don't think there's any gap. They talk about the gap between arm and ball.
What do you think, Gavin? 50-50.
I'm sitting on the fence, boys. That's a toughie. It looks like a try. It looks like a try.
We've got a rule that says benefit of the doubt.
No, knock on.
All right.
Knock on. No control.
Early on, they simply didn't have any sense.
Talapo wasn't deciding whether to run on. No one ran up to him, but he was brought down. Was he tripped? No, play on. Certainly ended up intercept this time by Templeman. Matthew Templeman goes for the corner and scores it. Well, I was just going to say 10-0 is not panic stations. 14 is just tottering on that. Intercept try, and the South Logan boys have taken every chance that's come their way and some. Here's the amazing lead up to that, Warren. The grubber kick through there by Telepo. There's the pass by Lacey. And Templeman intercepts. You just start pushing passes when you're 10-0 down. You start playing different. If they were setting an even market odds.
He's bringing
Pretty
it
good
around.
kick, this one. He's got it from the toughest position on the field for a right foot kicker. Well, this has put the cat amongst the pigeons. And it'll be a pretty contented bench. And Phil Dennis not called in as yet, the first man on the bench there. What a critical set of 6 and another penalty. Or do you take 2?
They've got to stay confident. White moves into it. He's got it inside the upright this time. And it is 18-0 to South Logan. Yes, 18-0 over the minor premiers.
Yeah, sensational scoreline there at half-time. It ain't over yet. Could be its Magpie season.
Tukey standing in for Magpies coach Paul Bramley. They're close here. Ipswich are in. The Jets have scored. Michael Ryan has scurried in for a very important try. They've had plenty of ball early in this second half, and Ipswich are over. A try they really needed, and they're back in the game.
Yeah, defenders overread it, and Michael Ryan will always take advantage. The guy was in doubt right up to the start of the match. Through the dummy, the defenders went away from him, and exactly the start they wanted. There's Michael Ryan, played quite a few games for the Broncos, throws a bit of a dummy and gets across. To his credit, he did. He provided the opportunity for this, the converted try, and the Jets, that will make a huge difference to them psychologically. 18-6.
Getting close to the sideline, drops it inside. It's a penalty to Ipswich. And a punch-up between the two centres. It's Malone and Lodge. 3-on-3.
Oh, it's more than 3-on-3 now. Although, fortunately, common sense has prevailed here. Quite a few have run in, but they've had to keep the lid on things. Could have kept going there, could have been trouble. They work down the blind side to Lacey. Little grubber kick, it's been played at. Play on, over the line, held up or down. I think he might have it down.
I think he's right
have it down.
I think he's rolled over.
This was played at. The kick by Lacey. I don't believe anyone was in front of the kicker. Yeah, there's the first question. Was anyone in front of the kicker? We've got half the grandstand now watching our monitors to see whether or not this was a try. He's going to award the try. And here come the Jets.
It's a huge call. Big decision by the video ref. Donald Malone has scored after Lacey put the kick in and it ricocheted. And the Jets, if they can convert this, are back within 6 points.
There's the rebound, and certainly by the time it came down, Malone was well and truly in a receiving position.
But the flags are hanging still. He's sliced it
back the other way.
He sliced it.
That's incredible. You can't do that.
One touch judge
from right to left.
One touch judge looked at the other.
Yeah, he wasn't sure
before they put the flags up, but it's been ruled a goal. It's 18-12.
That's a freakish kick, Gav.
Inside, South Logan half again. A good pass to Sweeney. Sweeney going through. Sweeney still going. Sweeney has scored. Ipswich scored 2 quick tries. An incredible try. Sweeney racing onto a pass from Ian Lacey has gone all the way. No one would have backed the big fella to run 30 or 40 metres to score a try in a grand final, but he's done it. And Ipswich are back within 2. Kick to come.
Talk about the big fella. Glenn Lazarus was there on camera. The big ex-front rower international. He could have done better. This beautiful work, Lacey. Up there to Sweeney. What a sidestep. Graham Langlands would have been happy with that one.
Josh Lewis kicks this one. Makes the last conversion look very, very handy as well. It's 18 points all in the grand final. 20 minutes to go. 5 metres out. 5th tackle. Laulu Tongagai still going. Laulu Tongagai flicks it out. Chance on the wing for Templeman. Can't get it down. Knocked over the sideline as he lost it inside.
Goes forward extremely well. Lacey, they'll go. Lewis will go. Field goal under the bar. Under the bar.
Gee, I thought the chance was there to run that ball. They looked a bit weak on the far side, the Magpies. The kick was a bad one. They've survived. They'll get the 20 tap, and away they go with Talapo. They've got to get it to the other end of the field. They've got just over 2 minutes. It's 18 all in the grand final.
The favourite's got to be extra time, hasn't it? Now.
Well, I reckon they might get one shot in here, David. Can they get within 40 metres? Talapo might have a shot. Dennis might have a shot. Who knows who else? Maybe one of the Canberra connection. They've got something special in their boot. Moreland.
It's a good little bust.
Over halfway. He's still going. He's a jackrabbit. 4 tackles gone. They've got to get closer. Got to get closer. Joyce, can he break the 40? He can.
A big kick, this one.
Will they have a shot at it?
They're not setting for it, I think.
Oh, yes, they are. Brad Cross.
Charge down. Play on.
Off Bugarelli.
6 to go, though. That could win it for them.
Moylan still on halfway.
Bugarelli, that's the injustice of the charge down.
Dennis Gives it to Talapau. It's Joyce now. Joyce stays close to the posts. Who's in behind?
Cross again. Cross is there.
Back there.
Talapau goes himself down the right-hand side. Pass up to Roach. Cut down Powell. Try. They're going to go to the net to try.
He's in a double movement.
No, he was free. He was broken. We're going to go to the video, but I think you'll find this is a try. Well, they all race for the man across. Talapau spotted it. Goes himself. Gets to the line. Fires it up there to Chad Lodge, and the ankle was still there. Did he have a hold of him?
Kyle Lodge, the man who scored the try in extra time last week, has he done it again?
He had a hold, but can you break free of that? He was down. I tell you what, this could be a no try. The only time he broke free was when he lurched forward. Let's have a look. If you've got a hand on him.
I think he broke, David. I think he was clear of the tackle.
And he wrapped his arm around his ankle again while he was still on the ground.
You don't have control of him, mate.
He didn't have control of him.
Oh, here we go. Here comes a huge call from the video referee.
It's going to be a try.
There's the grand final, surely, the South Logan. In the 79th minute of the game.
Wild celebrations for the Magpies. They've waited a long time. 1985, the last time the Magpies won. They were underdogs that day. Wayne Bennett was the coach. They beat the star-studded Winner Manly side. Talapau, what a game he's had. Pies it up there to Kyle Lodge. Terrific effort to bring him down by O'Sullivan. Sweeney there to try and stop him. Paul Bradley. He gets the old bear hug, and there's Jim McClellan on the left-hand side. He's the one they should be cheering around, Jim McClellan, the president. What a fantastic performance. What a fantastic game of rugby league.
Well, what an incredible game of rugby league. The crowd are on the field. South Logan fans have streamed onto the field as the kick being lined up by Josh White.
They don't need it, of course.
And White is added the extras. The icing's on the cake. But South Logan have won the 2008 Grand Final, the Magpies. They led 18-0 at half-time. All of a sudden it was 18-all by the 60th minute as Ipswich came back. But in the very last minute of the game, Kyle Lodge has stolen the try that has won the Magpies their first Grand Final since 1985 and their first in the Queensland Cup, certainly. One more look. The defenders were looking across. Talapau's raced down the blind side. Malone went in to make the tackle. There was space out there, and Kyle Lodge, he's the man of the moment for the second time for the Magpies. Twice in 2 weeks, he's won crunch games for the Magpies. This time it means a premiership win, a Queensland Cup win for South Logan. Oh, thanks all round.
And I have with me one of the happiest men in Ipswich at the moment, Jimmy McClellan, president of South. Jim, how's it feel, pal? It's been a long time between...
the happiest man in Ipswich, Roddy. I mean, we go back a long way. You were with us back in '96 at our last one, and it's been a long time coming, mate, and it's just absolutely sensational. You know, a group of young kids who started at the start of the year. We had a lot of Raiders.
Yep.
We ended up with one Raider, and the boys still did the job, and I think it's just sensational, mate. You just don't feel this good.
Mate, it must be great for you because it's been a long time between drinks, and you've been trying to hang South in there for a long, long time, and now you're fighting back with the South Logan Magpies and with the Raiders.
Mate, we've been in the doldrums for a long time. We could have rolled the white flag up 5 years ago through Cavalier Corporation, and the Raiders, they stuck behind us. We all stuck strong. We just keep digging deep, and today's the end result.
Mate, underdogs as well you went in. You led 18-0 at half-time. What was the feeling then?
I think at half-time, Paul just said what coaches always say, you know, just complete your sets. Go out there, it's a new game, new half, and let's just get in an arm wrestle with them and win the game. So, yeah.
Did you think it'd take the last 30 seconds to win it though, mate?
Mate, I tell you what, last week and this week, I'm 52. I think I'm in a heart attack territory, Roddy.
Tell me your wife, Barb's got a 50th birthday today, mate. Is that right?
50 today, mate, and she's going to hang the boots up. So we might be able to pull her out of the mothballs again next year. We'll see how we go.
Mate, I know you had a big reunion this year for your 100-year reunion, and I know there's a lot of passion spoken there. The likes of Greg Vivers and Bruce Astle, they'd be feeling pretty good today as well.
I think Greg's watching on TV, couldn't get here, but I know Bruce and Greg and all the boys will just be so happy, you know, like, takes us back to 85, you know, the last time we won it. So.
All right, mate, fantastic work. I know no one's worked harder than you, Jim. Well done, pal.
Thanks very much, Roddy, and thanks to the ABC for their coverage all year.
Ladies and gentlemen,
all the best. Have a great time, pal. Have a great time.
2008 Queensland Wizard Cup going to the way of the South Logan Magpies in dramatic circumstances.
It's very disappointing for Danny Coburn after 11 seasons. He's a runner-up today, but there it is, the story of the day. South Logan 24 defeating Ipswich 18. Tries for Ipswich to Ryan, Malone and Sweeney. Josh Lewis kicked 3 from 3, but missed with a couple of field goal attempts in the last few minutes. And on the other hand, South Logan, well, they scored that very valuable 4 tries after leading 18-0 to win it in the 80th minute of the game. Congratulations to South Logan.
The crowd was buzzing. It was huge. Well, there's so many Magpie fans out there. Because of the tradition, there's been the whole generations of supporters support the Magpies.
The support was fantastic, you know, and people with their signs, and you know, there was guys that I'd never ever seen before with, you know, face paint on and screaming out Magpies.
When you actually ran out onto the field and the boys took the field, they went, gee, you know, where did all these people come from?
Didn't have control of him.
Oh, here we go. Here comes a huge call.
It's going to be a try.
There's the grand final, surely, for South Logan.
The last time we actually won a grand final, my father took me to that grand final. 23 years later, my father and I at that game, and I've taken my son. And he had the honour of leading the team out as well.
There was a lot of tears, there was a lot of laughter, you know, there was a lot of fun, and you know, groan and cry all the time. South Magpies being one of the inaugural clubs in rugby league in Queensland, actually taken out the 100-year grand final too, it's symbolic, and it's something the club deserves. It was just a special moment, and it's something that anybody who's a part of it or gets the chance to be a part of, you just don't forget it.
Saturday, September the 21st, 1963. Lang Park, grand final day. Game in progress. The reserve grade final between South and Northern Suburbs. Northern Suburbs showing the way by 28 points to 2. The ground thronged with patrons, ladies and gentlemen. The conditions ideal for the playing of the 1963 Premiership Grand Final. And the teams take the field, ladies and gentlemen, to the roar of thousands of excited rugby league fans for the 1963 Rugby League Grand Final. And there's the kick-off. Hannon puts the ball in play. It soars high into the air and comes down. They're grappling for just inside Southern Suburbs half. But North have got possession. The ball played. It's been transferred out to Boston, who distributes the ball well over on the far side, but it's been lost by North. For the first scrum of the match, which is set just outside North 20 or Southern Suburbs 25. Won by South, and Jones has got it and breaks brilliantly up over the halfway line. He's got Farrell in support, but Farrell can't handle the pass, and it's lost. Northern Suburbs have dived on it, and they've got possession, but right down on their own 25. And it's Northern Suburbs. Jeeves, the hooker, has dived on it, and the Scarboroughs are in possession. And it comes to Johnny Bates. Bates gets it away to Hegarty. Hegarty gets it on to Bob Crook, but Bob Crook is the savagely tackled and loses the ball in a tackle. But the referee has ruled a knock-on for Northern Suburbs. South back near their 25. Out it comes to Gayton, the lock. Gayton skirting the ruck and trying to find room. Gets it away here to Beavers. Beavers very close to the line. South keeping up the pressure in the 15th minute of the game. South with the man over. Out it comes this time to Bond, and Bond has scored! Bond scores for Southern Suburbs. The first try of the match, and the Southern Suburbs side have got to the lead by 3 points to 0. And the crowd in the stand are going mad, ladies and gentlemen, as the West End team are the first to put points on the board. A sustained attack by Southern Suburbs forwards, which finally brought results. Southern Suburbs 3, Northern Suburbs nil as McDonald makes the attempt at conversion. It's on its way, and it's through! It's there! It's over! I can get it. And McDonald completes the tackle of Howard Whittaker and throws him into touch just outside Southern Suburbs 25, and it was a thrilling run by the Northern Suburbs swinger. In the 38th minute of the match, ladies and gentlemen, in the first half, Ian Massey scored a try for Northern Suburbs, and here's Jim Hannum about to attempt the conversion, and it's there all the way. And now the scores are level. It's 5 points all with a couple of minutes left for play in the first half. Well, Northern Suburbs kept hammering away at the Southern Suburbs try line for several minutes in the closing stages of this first half, ladies and gentlemen, and were finally rewarded with a try by Ian Massey after a good combined passing verse by the backs. By Ivan Jones, Southern Suburbs halfback. The ball being played, Hannum's got it, gets it away here to Bob Cook, and the 5/8 cuts on pace and tries to straighten up and bursts through brilliantly, waits up over the halfway line and tries to step around McDonald, and McDonald pulls him down with a last-ditch tackle. Northern Suburbs on the attack again, just on Southern Suburbs 25. Out it comes to Harry Bates up in the backside of Hannum, gets it away to Lloyd Ware. Northern Suburbs fanning out an attack. Lloyd Ware still running well. He pushes up Frank Bragg's tackle and still runs strongly up almost to the line after Hegarty, but Hegarty being well tackled by Gaylor. Southern Suburbs bring it about 5 yards out. This time it's been thrown across field to Massey again. Massey on to Harry Bates. Bates clapping on the face. He's only about 10 yards out. Gets a pass inside to Hannum, but Hannum is well held about 5 yards out from Southern Suburbs line. Pearson up and plays the ball. It's out this time to Massey. Massey running hard, gets it away to Paulson, and Paulson running with a speed of a 3/4. Looks as though he might go in and tackles, but he's over for a try. From the Paulson scores for Northern Suburbs, and Norths have got to the front with half-time coming up. Oh, a brilliant burst by Bob Paulson to left them all pointless. South's defence was cut to ribbons, and so it's 8 points to 5 in favour of North, practically on half-time. Hannum nearly ready with the score at 8 points to 5 in favour of Northern Suburbs. And here's his kick. There it is. Hits the post and bounces away, and so the kick fails. Bad luck for Hannum, bad luck for North. But Norths have hit the front. They're leading by 8 points to 5, and there's the half-time siren. The second half, 11 minutes old, ladies and gentlemen, as Hannum's about to make an attempt at a penalty goal, and there it is. It's in the air. And it's there. It's over. And Northern Suburbs have got away to a 5-point lead. The score now, Northern Suburbs 10 and Southern Suburbs 5. North's the better team on the day to date. Southern Suburbs on the attack, and the movement is broken down about 15 yards out from Northern Suburbs line. The ball out to Jones. Jones gets it away to Budge. He's 5/8, and Budge runs over towards the sideline, gets it to Frank Gregg, switches it inside to Farrell. Farrell diving around, but he's been well tackled by Jeeves for Northern Suburbs. South's in an attacking position just inside Northern Suburbs 25. 10 points to 5 in favour of North. Out it comes to Beavers, who runs hard across field, and he's got Gaylor in support. And he runs hard, the little winger, but he's been pulled down about 10 yards from the corner flag. It's all Southern Suburbs at the moment in the 13th minute of the second half. Jones a long pass across field to Budge. Budge gets it away here to Cranston, but Cranston bowled over by Henry Hegarty. South second row, Bond has got the ball. He gets the pass away here. Eventually to Farrell, and then the winger moves in field, stands in the tackle and gets it away inside the gate from Southern Suburbs lock, but he's been tackled by North skipper Bill soccer. The excitement's intense as the game moves into the 13th minute. Let's go. Bermuda throws a lot past across field to Gayton. Gayton gets it on here to Cranston. Cranston gets it to Frank Drake. And Drake stepping round tackles and trying to go through, but he's pulled down from behind by Bob Cook, Northern Suburbs 5-8. What a magnificent grand final this is. At the ball comes to Beavers, and the big fellow is trying hard to run, but he's been tackled by Ian Massey, Northern Suburbs lock. Southern Suburbs keeping on the pressure, trying hard to score. And it comes to Jones. Jones dummies, and the halfback tries to trick his way through. Runs towards the terrace side, gets it away to Gayler, but Gayler dumped off the ground and held onto the ground, and the ball has been stolen very cleverly by Ian Massey, Northern Suburbs. Defending desperately. Then the ball been thrown wide out here to Matassa. Matassa manages to pick up the ball and racing into it towards the middle of the field. Looks as though he could go in, but pulled down about 10 yards from the upright. A thrilling run by the North swinger. Matassa plays the ball being transferred out to Hannum. Hannum gets it away to Stevens. Stevens trying to plunge over, but he's held up by Bond, Southern Suburbs second row, only a couple of yards from the line. How Souths are keeping them out, goodness knows. The ball's played out. It comes to Simon, gets it away to John Bates. Bates running hard for the line, gets it under Whittaker. Whittaker and it looks as though it might be a try. It's a try to Northern Suburbs. Whittaker goes in as the corner flag was knocked over. Well, that seems to give Northern Suburbs a grip on this 1963 grand final, and if they pull it off, well, it'll be their 5th premiership in a row. Well, they've played magnificent football, and that was an example of just the way it's been going in this second half of the grand final. South making a great bid to try and reduce the gap as the ball comes out this time to Beavers. Beavers looking for support, gets it inside to Gayton, but Gayton well tackled by Johnny Bates. Gayton was still trying to hammer his way over, but North's defence is certain. West Roberts dummy hard gets it away to Jones, with the ball eventually been picked up and grabbed by McDonald, and McDonald racing hard for the try line. Very, very close. And it looks as though it could be a try. Yes, it's a try to Southern Suburbs. McDonald, the scorer, in the 31st minute of the 1963 grand final. A thrilling burst by Stan McDonald to put South back into the fight. That's 13 points to 8. Norths are clapping on the pressure in the last minute of the game. It looks as though Norths are going to make it 5 in a row as the ball is bandied around loose about 15 yards out from Southern Suburbs goal post. Well, the ball being played by Bob Paulson. The ball comes out to Ian Massey, the locker, and he starts to run well and fending them off right and left, and he could go in. And Massey very, very close, and he goes in under the post and scores his second try in the 1963 grand final. Ian Massey makes it safe for North. North leading by 16 points to 8. 16 to 8 as Hannum takes the attempted conversion, and it's true, it's there all the way. And Norths go away to a commanding lead in this grand final by 18 points to 8. And that sets the seal on the 1963 grand final premiership. And there's the final hooter, ladies and gentlemen. And that's it. The Nunda Wonders have done it again, 5 in a row. And the Norths running out the victors by 18 points to 8. And there's the crowd invading the ground after a memorable grand final. South's glorious in defeat, North's gallant in victory. Now there's the scoreboard telling the final story of the 1963 Premiership Grand Final. Northern Suburbs running out victors by 18 points to 8. And here's North skipper Bill Pearson, and a worthy leader he is too, being cheered from the ground, surrounded by a host of excited fans and North supporters.
Is the loss of last year's grand final still in your mind?
Yeah, that's what I think made the team all that more determined not to lose this one. You know, it's no use coming 2 years of football and losing 2 years grand finals, just like Parramatta and Sydney. Can't do it.
Okay.
The feeling of the South's back line, and if Malcolm Meninga fires this afternoon like he did last week with this near try, Valleys could be in trouble.
Chased by Backer. He shoots Backer. He might score. Oh, no, it's a touch.
And here's the Southern Suburbs team taking the field right now. Have a listen to the crowd. Gibson at fullback, Graham and Bracken on the wings, Meninga and Aston the centres, Keeley and Sol to the halves, Argyros at lock forward, Weir and Lumbey in the second rows, Kellaway and Brown the props, David Gould, and there's the team. Mills at fullback, Neal and Falvey on the wings, Close and Whelan in the centres, McWhirter and Strubbeck the halves, Lewis at lock forward, Sommer and McLeod the second rowers, Duggan and McGuinness the props, and Paul Richards the hooker, of course. David. There it goes from Eddie Warden. Valleys have the kick-off. Lewis sends it well downfield. Tony Gibson under the ball for the first touch for Southern Suburbs. As we said previously, a capacity crowd. I'd say all of 35,000 people, and the first penalty goes to Southern Suburbs, and listen to the Southern Suburbs supporters. No score to either side. McQuarter, Strudwick, long one to Mills, Chris Close will score! Yes! Great football, Fortitude Valley. Close has scored the first try. Valley 3, South nil. The first try of the 1979 Grand Final to Fortitude Valley, and a great piece of work from Fortitude Valley. Strudwick dummies McGuinness. There's McGuinness. Goes to Mills. Quick pass. Mills. Close has just pulled in from behind him. They can't catch him. He's too strong and too fast. And Close scores the first try with it. Has to judge the breeze. And I think he's judged it. Beautiful kick. And the Valley fans in the outer. Very happy with that one. In this 79 Grand Final, and Valley's leading South by 5 points to 0. One try. Strudwick puts the chipping in. Lewis is after it. Could get a bounce. Takes it. Finds McQuarter. Now he shoots it inside of Strudwick. He's overrun it. And Meninga has it.
Here it is on the end-on replay. Down goes Sommer. And there's Weir coming in. Trying, nothing vicious in it, just trying to slow up the play.
And a bit of a boo for Neil, but that's all the way. 2 out of 2, McNeil. The Valley's supporters have something to cheer about. Valley 7, Souths 0.
There's Wayne Bennett up on the end tower we've got up there, the Rick Air Tower, and he's get a bird's eye view from there as he likes watching the play from behind his own side.
Just inside their own quarter, Southern Suburbs. Kellaway, Connell, long one to Meninga. Meninga gives it now to Bracken. Bracken comes infield, fires it back to Astle. Good football, Southern Suburbs. Southern Suburbs players are Queensland representatives, so plenty of experience out there in both sides. Penalty going to Fortitude Valley. And of course, McNeil will kick for goal. The rooms, there's about 8 minutes of play left in the first half. McNeil, it might sneak over. It does. It hardly got further than crossbar height all the way. But 3 out of 3 to McNeil. And 9 points to 0. Valley leading Souths with about 8 minutes of play remaining in the first half, David.
George, I think
Meninga. It looks good. No go. No go. Valley still lead by 9 points to 0. Rush with the ball now. Half-time, precious seconds away. There it is. Referee Warts heard it. John Solar back inside of Mal Connell. Can they score after the bell? Connell, Hatter goes to Argyros to Bracken. He looks inside. He's away inside the corner. Lewis is after him. Mills is after him. He lost the ball. Oh, what a way to end the first half. Valley's lead at half-time by 9 points to 0. Bracken can't believe it. Valley's 9, South 0.
Or get that one-pointer over that he was attempting for. I think South would find it very hard psychologically to fight on in this match.
Room to move now. Keely's through the gap. Meninga looming on his outside. What a tackle. Wally Lewis. 3 left in his lot of 6. Paul Richard to dummy half. John McLeod. Over. 12-0. John McLeod is the try scorer. It was inevitable, David.
Yes, George, and here it is on replay. And McLeod, they used the blind side, and McLeod charges hard, and that's determination because he had to go through 2 South defenders and sneaks across and just gets the ball down. McNeil moves in for the conversion.
Taking his time, he's kicked 3 out of 3. 4 out of 4. Had to wait for that one. She just dropped through and that was all. 14-0. Valley's leading with about 14 minutes of play left in the 1979 BRL Winfield Grand Final here at Lang Park, and you're watching Channel O's action. David Brown in our pre-match interviews said that they held no fears for each other or for any other man on the field. And by golly, both of them have played that way, David.
Yes, it's been a very strong match.
To go, Wally Lewis to McQuarter. What about that Wally Lewis as a footballer? McQuarter puts it down.
I think he might have knocked it on, George. I think he's
17
fairly
nil.
lucky.
We'll soon find out on the replay if he has. But Eddie Ward will take it slowly. Way you go.
And here's McQuarter. McQuarter to Lewis. Lewis comes to the defence and he's decided he's got to put the little kick in. He gets past one. There's the little kick. And no, it did come off a South's hand.
Touched by Brian Weir. Yes.
Oh, he's definitely right. I thought it was Lewis's hand when I first saw it. The replay tells the story.
Look at Bob Callaway trying to get hold of him. And as we said before, it takes a brilliant player like 2 converted tries in the space of 4 minutes in the second half. The 25th and the 29th minute, a field goal from Wally Lewis. An extra point, thinking all the time, has all the skills, as Des Morris said. Lewis with a big grin on his face now. An extra point, Valley's lead by 20 points to 0. Richards, Studwick, a drop and goal, another one. An extra 1 point. 21 points to 0, 2 field goals. And it's a long time since we've seen field goals, and Des Morris has sweet memories of field goals. 72, Des. Tell us about it.
Well, it was a bit later than this, I think, in the game, and Jeff Price plucked one out of nowhere, and we won the game 16-15, but that was 8 years ago.
And that was against Fortitude Valley.
That was against Fortitude Valley, that's right.
Neal, Lewis, long floating pass. If they pick it up, they'll score. Whelan picks it up on the bounce. The Wally Lewis pass. The Rugby Union background of Wally Lewis. A beautiful torpedo pass. Just watch how far it goes. There's Lewis. It goes a good 25 metres. Rick Whelan just has to accept it to score the try. 4 tries, 24 points to 0.
And also Peter McQuarter, as I said, in the defensive department. Mick Neal converts it and makes it 6 out of 6. And the score, 26 points to 0, turning out to be a real thrashing.
Grand final will never be the same ever again, Des.
George, as you can see, there's thousands of kiddies running onto the field now. And
well, George, I thought it was really Valley's defence in the early part of the second half that saved the game for them. When South threw everything at them, it was Valley's defence that held. And then after it had held, they just hit the accelerator and their attack was much too good. Trudwick for the $100 Metro Ford Man of the Match. Ross was in everything and must be a very happy man right at this moment.
Thank you, David. What a tremendous win. Mate, it was only 12 months ago, almost to the second, that most of us guys were sitting here with tears in our eyes and wondering, well, will we stick together or won't we stick together? I sound like a politician. Here we are, 12 months later. And we've got it under our belts. What a tremendous win, mate. That's bloody tremendous. Fellas, let's hear the song, eh? Good.
Here's the grand final history. South have won 4 premierships in 1945, 49, 51 and 53. And Northern Suburbs 11 premierships, 34, 38, 40, 59, 60, 61, 62 and so on. Last grand final for Norths was in 1969. Here's the kickoff. Referee Eddie Ward did the kickoff, and there's Malcolm Meninga putting it deep down into North's territory. Eventually going to be taken back there by Bird. Time to Naylor. Quickly wrapped up over there. North's getting up pretty quickly. And there's a little bit of a scuffle going on. A penalty coming up to North. Now a few of them into it. Naylor and Jews in there. And now they're breaking up to 3 or 4 different groups. 4, maybe 5 people going through the air. And they're all over the place.
One in, all in. Actually, there was a little bit of going in on the tackle. Look at this out wide here. Meninga and
Dutton.
Oh, that's as bad as I've seen in the grand final.
And
not
still
good.
Still it's going on plenty of other areas. What do you do in a situation like this, Ross?
Well, I don't think you get involved the way these players are out there now.
somebody's going to get hurt, and it's probably a key player that does get hurt. And I think it's very silly of the two captains letting the players carry on the way they are at this stage.
Crew's still going to rescue, but Sonny's underneath. And they'll put him to the ground about 30. Penalty coming up now against Naylor on that occasion. Penalty to Northern Suburbs. Okay, here's Warnock back onto his mark, kicking for goal. Pretty strong wind at that end of the ground. That'll give you an idea of the kick. He's coming in. It's on its way. Let's have a look at it. It is there. First points on the board in the 1980 Brisbane Rugby League Grand Final. And Norths lead Southern Suburbs by 2 points to 0. There you see the big charge through by Morocco. And eventually goes to the ground. We'll have the Meninga on his way. He's right on time. Straight through the centre by Malcolm Meninga, and that is the equaliser. Souths and Norths are 2-all.
Forearm, and he's not feeling too well at all.
That's Graham out wide to Kilroy. Here's a go. Kilroy through the gap. He's up over the quarter line. He's got Glynn in front of him. He bumps away. Glynn still going, but eventually put down. A nice run by the fullback. This is Henrik again. To Bird, the winger coming into it. He's been away up the centre as he got away from Lumbey. He's coming up to Glynn. He's looking for his support. He could find Warnock, his winger. Warnock comes back inside. Tackle over there by Astle, and Lumbey a couple of metres from the line.
Norths, I think, have got to pray that they keep the ball for at least 60% of the rest of the game.
Warnock successful with that shot at goal, and so now Norths move back into the lead. They lead by 4 points to 2. Way to the supports. That's Murray. Henrik. Got it away this time to Draper coming through. Back to Henrik. A little fella moving around, dodging, weaving. Found Graham. Then away to Walker. Walker got it back to Murray. Murray got it away to Kilroy. This is nice stuff. Kilroy claps on the pace. He pushed away. Astle, he's lost his balance. So a good run by the fullback. Bird's up as the dummy half. Back over to Murray. On it goes to Bernarden. They've got him running at 6s and 8s at the moment. To Henrik. He gets it away to Walker, bounces across over there to Draper. Draper turns it back on to Dunn. The big fella's still going. He's over the quarter line. He's still going as Dunn. He got the way to Henrik. He'll score. Henrik's in for the try. Nice football, Northern Suburbs. They've swept to a lead of 7 points to 2.
And watch this one on the replay. It's as nice a try as you'll see in a final, because defence is usually very tight, but they move the ball from one side of the field to the other, and as Bill nominated, they had Souths really strung out. But watch the backing up and the slick moving. A man to pick up a loose pass like that. It was Draper on that occasion. Back to Brian Dunn. Nice strong run from Dunn. Look at this. Souths' defence shot to pieces, and that little man who comes up out of the ground, Henrik, everywhere.
And they still had a couple outside.
Yes, still had men to burn.
Midway between the quarter line and halfway, down in South's territory, Mark Graham. Unloaded to Kilroy. Kilroy still going. Up to Glenn. Back inside it goes to Bird, and he's pulled down. Oh, so close to the line, but a forward pass. And you wouldn't have noticed, Mick, but with some of the young ladies with the summer gear on today, well, I can say is roll on summer.
Well, I did notice it. Don't say things like that.
But you love cows. Here's a penalty to South. We'll see the kick and goal coming up by Malcolm Meninga. A couple of steps back. He's on his way. Here's a kick. Let's have a look at it. It is waved away. Let's get a try before half-time. Johnston, Sully, Lumbey. Oh, this has got to be it. Meninga. Quick hands and they'll do it. No, he dummies. Goes himself. Out of a couple. Still going. Meninga. He'll score. The strength of Malcolm Meninga has won through. Southern Suburbs get within 2 points of Norths as he goes in for the try. Norths lead by 7-5.
Now watch Meninga. This is sheer power, and you can nearly hear the checkbooks being pulled out by those Southerners as they watch this guy go. Lumbey's there again, getting in the road a bit now. Meninga, his support was crowded, so he decided, I'll have a go of my own. Now look at this. That is just sheer power. He's bumping guys off.
And Dave Brown's not really quick, and there was so much room there that nobody got near him until he got to the fullback.
Here's the kick. It's on its way. It looks all right from here. It's there. That's the equaliser from Meninga. Souths are 7 and Norths are 7, and it's almost on half-time. Back over to Meninga. He's going to put the boot underneath it. Well, if Joe Kilroy likes the boot to come down at him, well, he's away. If he wants to have a bit of a run, here's the chance. Back into his own quarter, rather. Now turns around, starts to go up the centre. Run he's doing. He's up over the halfway mark. He's still going. He's coming up to Glenn. Gets it away over there this time. Done, and he's catching out and going for the line, and he's over. Nice piece of work. Joe Kilroy. What a scorching run. What a way to start the second half.
I tell you what, if South thought that they were going to... Here's the replay. Meninga puts it downfield, which is not a bad idea to do. And as Ross said, Kilroy said he wanted him to kick it and he'd have a run. Well, this is what we get, a big run. As good as, I tell you what, these 2 tries that Norths have scored in this grand final are as good as I've ever seen. Now, here he goes, a determined runner. He beats 5 men so far. Astle couldn't catch him. There's the support outside. And, of course, Meninga, in a state of complete shock, endeavours to chase him, but far too late.
And now Gary Warnock's on his way. Let's see what he can do with this one. He's put it over. Nice kick by Warnock. And Norths have sprung to a lead at the opening stanza of the second half and go to a lead of 12 points to 7. There's a lot of life left in this grand final yet. Chance of getting the pass away, but the pressure's still on. Morocco to Dave Brown. He got the pass back to Morocco. Morocco's going for the line. He's over. George Morocco in. And if any South player deserved to score a try, George Morocco's the one. It'll be pretty interesting, Mick.
Yes. Let's
have a look at it from here. Cross over there to Dave Brown. That's him going up. Grabbed up there by Walker. There's about 4 Norths players there. Still managed to get it away. Now here's Morocco. Dived up by Henrik. Kilroy and Bernarden over the top.
Smooth.
Here he goes with a kick. He's missed it. He has missed it. And Norths retain a lead of 12 points to 10. And a bad miss for Malcolm Meninga. Playing it back inside. Henrik. Murray. Graham gets it away this time to Dutton on the burst. Lost his footing. Can he get it? Oh, he props. He cuts back inside. It's a try. All the defence kept going the other way. Dutton back inside. And a try for Northern Suburbs. And that'll really make it interesting from here.
Actually draws 2 or 3 players to put Dutton through a very small gap.
That's him with the ball now. Yes, he does. And away it goes to Dutton. Now have a look at this. Almost lost his footing. Was about to go up. Now look at them all go. They've all gone to South Brisbane. And Dutton just came back inside.
South Brisbaneville.
Oh, West End, anywhere else.
And Brad Testman ready to come on, I think, for Lumbey, possibly.
Here's a kick by Warnock, and it's there. Good goes. So, Northern Suburbs are now leading South by 17 points to 10.
Put the points quickly on the board.
Thompson back over there to Phelan. Morocco to Lumbey. A long one over the top to Keeley coming into it. He sends it back inside to Astle. Astle got away from Dunn. Still going as Astle looking for support. There's Brad Testman onto it. Testman will get away to Mickey Graham. Comes up to Warnock. Grabbed by Murray. Got it back over there this time to Keeley. Keeley, oh, if it had been able to get it to Morocco, but he gets it to Astle. Astle exploding for the line, but is pulled down just short of it.
On that occasion, I felt he should have been the one that was pinged.
Now he takes a tap. Picked up by Morocco. Over to Lumbey. Got it away to Johnston. There's the gap. He steps back inside. He's over beside the post. Billy Johnston beside the post. Bully won't miss this one.
Well, you nominated a try and to make it a cliffhanger. Well, you've got just that.
Certainly is. 17 to 15. Can Southern Suburbs come back strongly with some 7 minutes to go? Lining up to come on for Northern Suburbs. Back it comes this time to Sully. Then away to Keeley. He's put a bit of dash into him since he's been there. A big one over the top. It'll be taken by Glynn. Got away to Graham. Graham with a bit of room to move. He's up the touchline. He decides to go himself. He's still going. Mick Graham looking for support. Can he get it back? No, he can't. He's into touch. Take the tap. Now he puts a little kick. That's adventurous. Follows out after it. Takes it. That was adventurous. Here's Meninga. He's going to kick it upfield. Oh, he's kicked it out on the full and just as well because there are kids going everywhere, but it's all over. And Northern Suburbs have won the 1980 Brisbane Rugby League Grand Final in a boil-over finish. They've defeated Southern Suburbs by 17 points to 15. Hello everyone and welcome to Lang Park, and this is the big one, the grand final between Souths and Whittam Manly. That's an aerial shot. You can see what it's like from upstairs, but down here on the ground the atmosphere is electric as the build-up for this tremendous match, and a huge crowd at Lang Park and lots of red and green out there.
Final at fullback, Colin Scott, Terry Butler, 3 tries last week, and Warren Green on the wings, Brett French and Gene Miles in the centres. The halves also going very well, Walsh and Dawes. Sean Johnston is locked forward, Seaton and Batiste, the second rowers, Zillman, Morris and Green make up the full complement. Full complement now. Spencer at fullback. Thompson and Chalice, the speed on the wings. Meninga and Belcher, what a job they've got. Harry and Sully are the halves, and two good halves. Alan Power playing lock forward. I thought Argyros might go in there, but Power is definitely playing lock forward. Tessman back in the side for his first A-grade final. Lumbey out of the second rower. Higgs and Grinky the props, and Billy Johnston the lock forward.
Billy Johnston, the little motor mechanic from Cunnamulla. A proud moment for him as he leads out the mighty Magpies. Rod Morris, the 32-year-old prop forward who's a lay-down misère for the Australian Kangaroo side, leads out Wynnum Manly, the sentimental favourite for today's grand final.
This is it, the 1982 Brisbane Rugby League grand final. Gene Miles puts it high in the air to Ken Spencer down there to take it for Souths. Souths coming from the northern end of the ground. And this is it. This is the testing material. All he helps. This is Chalice. Chalice deciding to have a little bit of a run, but not for far. Got away from one tackle. Still going as the South swinger. Great run there by Chalice. Ball now. Southern Suburbs to Bruce Harry, who's going to kick for touch. Can he find it? No. Warren Green's back there.
Well done.
The Wynnum Manly winger runs it up, but Chalice is there. Got it back to Walsh, however. Walsh across to Colin Scott. Colin Scott running backwards now as Belcher's out after him. He got away from Belcher.
Oh, yes!
Now here's the gap coming up. Quince up over the halfway mark. And the Butler, and Butler's away. Terry Butler will score. There's no doubt about it. And Wynnum get the first try of the match underneath the post.
Oh, look at the crowd, look at the crowd. And here it is. You'll see Scott come across. And Belcher had hold of him. Belcher grabs him now. And Scott gets away from him. There it goes. Just long enough to start a forward movement. He gets the pass away, but it's the next pass that does it. It's the next pass that does it. French goes away. He's only got the fullback to beat. A bad position for the fullback. You can't do a thing about it. Terry Butler's got 30 metres to run, and there's no way in the world he wasn't going to score as soon as Scott got the ball out to French. It was a try, and here comes the kick. Over! 5-0.
There's another South's ball. Sully gets it across over there to Bruce Harry.
Oh,
now
yes!
there's the gap coming through nicely as Belcher away to Meninga. There's nothing wrong with him now as he gets over the quarter line, back inside this time to Chalice. Chalice over the top to Sully. Sully going to be pulled down 8 metres out.
Good football. Great football.
From Ash Lumbey will be the dummy half to Sully. Harry. Can South do something here? Over the top, taken by Meninga.
Here he goes.
Meninga through the gap. He's up over the quarter way. He's pushing it wide left, right and centre. Ball rolling loose. Going to be taken by Green, but a penalty South.
Offside.
Coming up as dummy half to Brad Sully. Sully through the gap.
Yes.
He's away. Still going. Ash Lumbey. Lumbey going for the line.
Just the
Reaches
ball.
out. Try. Try.
Yes. I thought Lumbey lost it from him. Watch the pass. Look at it. Just cuts him out, straightens up, goes infield, two hands to it. Lumbey's just going to run to the corner. The cover comes across at Scott. He's got him by the legs. He puts the ball out. Oh, from the front on, we'll be able to see it a lot better.
Get a good idea from here. The ball's now way to the left. Way to the left-hand side of the upright, so it remains. Wynnum Manly leading Souths by 5-3.
Hey, yes, I was watching that.
Warren Green coming up for the shot at goal. It's on the way. It is there, straight as a gunner. Straight through the setup. And Wynnum Manly move away 7-3. Wynnum Manly holding their half-time lead of 7 points to 3 as South win this one. Hurry to Sully to Spencer, then away to Meninga. Meninga straight ahead. He gets away from the tackle coming in from French. Still going as a big fellow onto the quarter line before he's going to be wrapped up. Johnston. Tessman. Lumbey. The second rower on the go again. Cuts back inside. Still going. Couldn't get it to Thompson, however.
Having a top game, Ash Lumbey.
Wynnum hanging on to their lead of 7-3. Sully picked up nicely this time by Alan Power. Got it back then to Belcher coming around. Meninga gets it away to Chalice. Chalice cuts back inside. Got it away this time to Belcher. Back to Meninga. Oh, he tried to get a one-handed pass to Chalice but lost it. Up to the quarter line. Final tackle coming up. Belcher. Belcher still going. He's only got Scott to beat. No one around, and final tackle. 7-3 the score. Wynnum leading. Just under 9 minutes remaining. Gene Miles. Walsh. Oh! That's it. French is in, and it's over.
Oh, there it is. There it is. The green and red horde on the outer at Lang Park. What a day for Wynnum Manly. crazy. They have gone absolutely crazy. Brett French has scored the try. The dancing magpie in the outer is doing back somersaults. The perfect pass scores the try. Gene Miles, Brian Walsh. Walsh, the great game he's had. French, and once French has hit the ball, it's all over. Shut the gate. 2 tries, 10 points to 3, and all from unfortunately, from a mistake from Kenny Spencer. Warren Green, who's kicked 2 out of 2. Can he make it 3 out of 3?
On its way there.
13 points, 12 points to 3. And here's the try once again from front on. You'll see the work that Walsh does. Here it goes. Quick hands was on. Gene Miles, watch Walsh. Dances, then away it goes. Once again, perfect football. The pass beating the man, and in the try goes. 12 points to 3. Winnamanny leading, back with the football.
Okay, well, that's just about wrapped it up now. Just under 7 minutes to go, and I perish to think what's going to happen at the end of the game, George. I've just about pulled the fence down here.
Well, I'm pleased I'm up here, and I'm pleased I haven't got to get home in a hurry. And I've got a red shirt on anyway. I better find a green hat or something.
Bullock is the dummy half. Bullock will send it across to Rod Morris. Morris almost through. Back to North. It's away.
Yes.
Halfback is in. Underneath the post.
Oh! Rodney Morris, and there's Des. Des is pretty happy now. He's pretty happy now. And 3 tries. That's tied it right up. DJ's clapping himself, getting congratulated from everybody. And obviously talking to 4BC at the moment. Look at Rod Morris. Rod Morris got the pass away to doors. Mark Zillman's congratulating him. And look at the crowd in the outer. The red and green streamers. Greens kicks over. 17 points to 3. It's worth looking at again from front on because you'll see what Rod Morris does with the ball. Where's the front on replay? Watch Rod Morris. Terrific international, this fella. Now he gets the ball at 2 hands. Almost down on 1 knee. And away goes Dawes. Couldn't believe his good fortune. As I said, look at the grin. He can't stop smiling, and that he might well keep doing as well. Final seconds of the game, Billy Smith.
Counting it down with 7, 6, 5. And it's all over. Winnamanly, the 1982 Grand Final winners, have defeated Souths by 17 points to 3.
And there it is. Des Morris, the man on the sideline. What a happy boy. I'd say for Southern Suburbs, my player of the game, Ash Lumbey. Top game from the second rower, Ash Lumbey. Never stopped trying, scored their try, almost scored another one. There he is. And on the wing for at the 5/8 position for Winnamanly, Brian Walsh. Walsh coming into his own, and what a great game. Rodney Morris being cheered from the field. So congratulations, Rodney.
Very proud day and happy day for the club.
Ladies.
Winnamanly, and a great crowd out here at Lang Park under pretty warm conditions, ready for the big one this afternoon.
Well, people have said that they have the best club side seen running around Brisbane in the last 20 years, 25 years. And, well, it'd be a brave man to doubt that because when they play together and they play well, Wynnum look an unbeatable side.
Probably about 70% of people out here today would be supporting Winnamanly. They've only won 1 grand final. That was a couple of years ago. They've been in the competition for 33 years. But if you have a look at Southern Suburbs, Mick, they've picked up, I think, something like 9 premiership wins. They're a lot older team, of course, a lot older club, but they've done pretty well just the same.
Yes, and they've been in the 4 of the last 5 grand finals.
The only Wynnum problem that they've had, of course, has been the bruised ribs of international centre Gene Miles. The state lock forward Bob Linder, Mick, one of the most exciting prospects in this state at the moment. He's resuming after a back injury, and no doubt he'll be a welcome addition to the ranks of Southern Suburbs today.
Run.
Okay, here's South coming from the northern end of the ground. The kick-off by Meninga, deep down into Winnamanly territory. It'll be taken back there by Brian Walsh, dropped it back behind him. Walsh up into the field of play. Walsh normally, well, he's played lock forward, he's played 5/8, he's played everything but front row. It is Eddie Muller. Green works the blind side to Lewis. Lewis got away beautifully over there. Cutting through is Warren Green. Green up over the halfway. Pulled down to the tackle by Peter Jackson. A dummy half, still all the score. And 8.5 minutes of the grand final gone by. Meninga gets it away to Belcher. Belcher up over the quarter line. Cuts back inside. He's still going. He's going for that line. Pulled down about a metre short of it.
Double movement. And that's a good decision from the referee. Wynnum will do that all afternoon.
Peter Dawes to Lewis on the blind side. Lewis holds it up. Now he accelerates. Here he goes. Back inside to Ian French. He's got some toe, this fellow. He's over the quarter line. He's going for the line. Jackson out after him. Gets it to Green. And there's the first try of the match. Warren Green in for the try after 10 minutes of play. Wynnum Manly score the first points of 4-0.
Oh, beautiful work from Wally Lewis. The magic of the man. Watch him. Here he goes. He moves with the ball and they just stand and watch him. He ran past Kellaway like Kellaway was a silent cop. And this Ian French stretching out beautifully. Knows the support is coming. Jackson can't get to him and does then. Green gets it. Beavers comes from the other wing to nail him, but far too late.
So it's Sully. Coming through is Gary Belcher. Belcher's away up over the quarter line. He's being chased by Lewis. Lewis ankle taps him, but he doesn't get him. French will get him. French pulls him down. 20 metres inside Wynnum Manly territory.
That was a good run from Belcher. He's one of the unsung young heroes of South. 7/8 of the crowd is Wynnum.
Here's a kick by Meninga. Let's have a look at it. It's there. I'm involved in the tackle. Gene Miles. Big Gino up over halfway. Still going. Oh, it's picked up beautifully this time by Green. Green back inside to David Green, and David Green will score underneath the post. Beautifully picked up there by Mel Green, the second rower.
What beautiful play by Wynnum Manly. I must admit, Big Gino took off, left 3 of them, drew in 4 of them actually, and that was beautifully picked up by the second rower. Belcher went for the intercept, and David Green, the hooker, and captain over under the post. Souths are just not at home, and some of those forwards, as Wynnum had the extra 2 points, should not be on the field.
South Mick have missed 17 tackles, Wynnum missing 6. To play it, Muller the dummy half. Sully. Back inside to Kellaway. Kellaway striding up the centre, still going. He's up over the quarter. Only has the full back to beat. Walsh is hanging on to him. And Butler comes across. Lewis there to cut it off. Dummy half Meninga. Kicked away. And it's a Wynnum ball. South lose their chance. So close to the line. Dummy half David Green. Wynnum roaring up again. Played forward by Dowling and a try. Played it forward. Leant over. Put his hand on it and a try. He eventually does. This will show it very well. He's got Ash Lumbie in front of Samarco. Well, he's only half up. He just towed it forward, leant across, put the big hand on it, said, thank you very much, I'll have 4 points. So Wynnum streaking away to a lead of 14-2. It's now 16-2. And 3.5 minutes to the half-time break.
Against a man out there this afternoon. Halverson will remember this game.
David Green fighting it, Dowling kicking it across field. It's still okay. Brian Walsh will pick it up, and this will be a gift try. Walsh in for an absolute gift of a try. David Green, dummy half. Lewis. Miles. Miles. Over to French. This is trouble. Over the halfway. Terry Butler outside. Beavers has a go. Now to Butler. Butler's on his own. He cuts back inside. He's looking for support. French is back onto his feet, and French is going to score in the corner. I thought it was French first up, and I thought it couldn't be. He'd been knocked to the ground, but that'll give you an idea of how much time Butler had to go, because there's French, and he's well and truly put to the ground in the tackle. So Butler says, I'll have a bit of a run now. Gary Belcher said, where in the world are you going to go? Butler cuts back that way, and blow me down. Here's French on the way. Brett French powering across for the try. Lumbie dives at him at the end, but it's too late. It's all over. And Wynnum Manly in for another one and have a lead of 24 points to 2. I'm amazed, Mick, that a player can be tackled, get up, and still score a try.
And he was well tackled too.
So Warren Green attempting to convert this one. He's failed, so the score at Lang Park remains. Wynnum leading by 24 points to 2. Still haven't got David Green down as yet. Now Dawes to Lewis. Lewis, the long one. Brian Walsh into the back line, then away to Terry Butler. Butler back inside. This is Lewis. Lewis got away then to Miles, and Miles is in. Gene Miles in for another one. And the procession continues.
Great football win of Manly. Wally Lewis, the long one to that man Walsh. I told you he could play great football. Butler hardly touched his fingers and he shot it back inside to that man Wally. And there's Big Gino, who's been following Wall all this year.
And they're racking up a cricket score. It's 28-2.
Else not doing too much. There's Wayne Bennett. I wonder what thoughts are running through his mind. Self-destruction or some sort of Harry Carey, Bill?
Anyway, that's the way it goes. Here's a kick by Warren Green, who's there, and that is rubbing it in. 30 points to 2, win a Manly lead. And they're in all sorts of trouble, South Mick, when you have a look at them just on fitness-wise here.
But he's going to give his team a bit of a spell, and yes.
No, he's going to take the tap, puts his head down and dives for the line. Can he get it down? Yes, he can. He's got it down. That's a try. Win him in for another one. 34 points to 2.
Well, he wasn't giving it, as you see on the replay. Now watch Green. He walks in and puts his hands up in the air, but he's not saying anything. A pretty good ploy, and then away he goes. 3-1, and South still can't hold him out.
Kick is going to be successful. Ball running into it is Bob Lindner. Ball roll loose. And it was Green able to stand up and get away then to Dawes. Dawes back inside to Lewis. Lewis crashing through, and here's another one. Lewis over underneath the post. And Winner Manley hit the 40 points.
There that would just open up.
We might get a... There's the kick converted. So it's 42-2. Souths have missed 34 tackles. And that's a conservative estimate. As opposed to Winner Manley's 12. The scoreboard says it all.
And I think if you've been watching the game all afternoon, you would know that positional play was non-existent by the Souths players, and they didn't want to tackle anybody.
That's Bob Lindner putting a little kick. Is this going to be South's try? There's 2.5 minutes remaining. Lindner pulled down short of the line. He can't get over. Getting up to play at final tackle. So back to Bruce Harry. Harry a big long one. Ash Lumbie takes it. He gets it around the corner to Meninga. Meninga gets it away to Abbott. Abbott's going for the line. Tackled by Walsh, but he's in for the try. So South getting in with 1 minute and 42 remaining in the match.
As you'll see on the replay, ball is thrown long and wide. Ash Lumbie to Big Mal. Mal throws a wild one over the top. I tell you what, Abbott did. He nearly put that one down too, and there wasn't anybody around.
Attempting to convert. He's spot on line. Beautiful kick from the touchline. Makes it 42 points to 8. 10 metres out from his own line. Crowd starting to pour onto the field already. It hasn't finished, but it's all over now, and that's it. Winner Manly convincing winners of the 1984 Grand Final. They've taken it out by 42 points to 8. And somewhere out there, Michael, is our man of the match to receive $200 worth of Canterbury gear.
Well done, Brian Walsh. There he is.
Well, he's there somewhere, Mick.
Yes,
Kids everywhere. There he is. You can see him over the back there. With #1 jersey on, Brian Walsh is our man of the match. $200 worth of Canterbury gear and the System 21 stereo from NEC. Mescal comes into the front row in place of Adrian Higgs. What a Manly lineup. Here's a pretty solid one too. The fullback is Colin Scott. The wingers are Terry Butler and Warren Green. In the centres, Gene Miles and Brett French. The 5'8" is Wally Lewis, and the halfback Peter Dawes. Lock forward is Brian Walsh. In the second row, it's Mal Green and Greg Dowling. And the front row is Tony Kajewski, David Green and Gary Coyne. The last time these two teams met was in the Woolies pre-season, and South won that match by 18 points to 11. A very, very vocal crowd out here tonight, Michael.
Yeah, it's a very good crowd too, considering we're going live to the people, Bill. A marvellous crowd.
A few other pretty interesting clashes throughout the night also. Eddie Muller up against David Green in the hooking department. That's an interesting clash in itself. So the match has a lot going for it tonight, and I think we'll get plenty of action. Referee, of course, is Barry Gomersall. He's the man in charge. There he is, checking with both captains now. But a Manly coming from the northern end of the ground. There's the whistle, and away they go. Wally Lewis puts it into motion, and the ball will carry down to Gary Belcher, and Belcher up to about 20 metres out from his own line. No points on the board as yet, and 5.5 minutes remaining in the quarter. Back over to Colin Scott. Outside to Miles. Miles cutting back inside. He's over for the first try of the match. Dean Miles is in. Wynnum lead by 4-0, and Coach Des Morris pretty happy with himself.
I'm clapping it, and well he might. What a beautiful short pass, and didn't Miles run onto it? He blitzed onto it. It's Tony Scott just holding it up. And Colin Scott, sorry, not Tony. I'm about 8 years too late. And over he goes. Oh, well, you've got to forgive me. But that was a brilliant try.
Here's a head on now, and as you can see, over there to Colin Scott. Outside to Gene Miles. Miles through the gap. Racing away. Got away from Belcher. Dived up by Kellaway from behind. He did well to get there. But the big fellow was away and in for the opening try of the match.
They were controlling the ball well and doing everything with, well, a sense of purpose.
There's a conversion by Warren Green. So at 6 points to 0, Wynnum leading. There's a pass to Meninga. Meninga gets it to Lumbey. Penalty. He's offside in there. Redcliffe at Bishop Park and Southern Valleys at Lang Park. Here's the kick for goal, and it is successful. So it's 8 points to 0. Wynnum Manly lead. 6 o'clock. Final tackle. Harry. Back over to Meninga. Over the top. Eventually to Vivas, who then puts the boot underneath it. Goes nice and high. Very high. Bounces away from Belcher. Belcher will get it though. Belcher's in for the try. Wow. I don't think Wynnum can quite believe it. But it looked as though South were in all sorts of trouble when Vivas put it up.
Well, actually, as you can see, South's nearly getting to the panic stage of passing. Vivas in all sorts of trouble, had to go back, put it up, then ran through to put them all onside, and everybody, including Wynnum Manly, just looked at it. Belcher all onside, play on, and I tell you what, that's not what Wynnum Manly's all about. That's their first disappointing lull in defence.
Here's the head on now. So high was that one that we have to wait for it to come back into vision. There it goes now. And straight through was Belcher. Colin Scott out after him, but he's in for the try. And the ball's on its way away to the left-hand side of the uprights. So it's 8 points to 4. Wynnum Manly leading. 2 on this weekend. Final tackle. Ball rolls loose. Ripped out of his hands. Penalty Wynnum. Another chance for Warren Green.
One big difference too.
Here's the kick by Green. Successful. Another 2-pointer. So it's a lead now for Wynnum of 10 points to 4. Now Gene Miles. He's going to have a go. He's over the line. Could he get it down? I'd say he has. Domasol in there. Awards a try. Wynnum Manly in for try number 2. And they swoop to the lead even further.
And that was powerhouse stuff. Usually we see Wally Lewis skipping in for this sort of play, but on this occasion you couldn't get a much more powerful man. And Meninga's the marker, I might add. He sees what Miles is about, and there's a flurry of players. Mr. Gomersall right on the spot, takes his time, has a little peep around before he awards the try, and a good effort from Gene Miles.
Let's have a look at it from the head on. There's Miles. Yes, there's no doubt about it. He's got it down. Domasol looked around. Brian Walsh, he had no doubt it was a try. He jumped up in the air, and now it's confirmed, and we're near it. I was fully expecting him to drop in there because we know how powerful he is close to the touchline. Conversion successful. 16 points to 4. Wynnum leading in the final of the Winfield State League. Back to who? French. French puts up the bomb. Charging through as Lindner. The ball bounces. And it's a try. Yes, Belcher the fullback scores the try.
And that's the most disinterested looking try I've ever seen in my life. Belcher was not real interested in doing anything about it. There weren't too many South players. He just followed it for something to follow. Have a look at this on the NEC replay.
Yes, you'll see it come back now to French. French puts it up. Lindner was flying through out after it. You can see Belcher back where he is. And boom, the ball rolled loose. And Belcher said, hello, I'll have this, and it's a try. Well.
Oh, a fair try, but a rather peculiar way to get 4 points.
Well, they're up there on that board, Mick. Here's the head on. Can't get much of an idea who got a hand to it there. 16 to 8 is now 16 points to 10. 16 to 10 and 15 minutes.
Thinking about it, that'd fix it right up. Here it is.
Back over to Lewis. There's the drop shot at goal, and that seals it up because it's over. 17 points to 10. Field goal by Wally Lewis. Set. So into the final minute, David Green is through the gap and is over for the try. Green in for another one. Coming into full time. Here it is again.
And that was well done from Green. That's the one that put the nail in the coffin. And South, every time they play Wynnum Manly for the rest of the season, will think about that one, because it wasn't luck. It was great play from Wynnum Manly, and they've sealed South's doom tonight.
There it is, Green across field and in for the try. And gives Wynnum a lead of 21 points to 10. With the kick just to come. And there's Des Morris, quite happy down there in the Wynnum Manly dugout. And here's the full-time hooter. Warren Green is yet to kick the goal. But it's all over, and full marks to Wynnum Manly. A great performance from them tonight.
So, I'm sorry, Bill. Yes, it has been. And here comes Green on his way in.
And he is going to miss that one, but it's not to worry. 21 points to 10, the full-time score. Tries for Wynnum Manly, 2 by Miles, 1 by David Green. Warren Green kicked 4 goals from 6 attempts, and Wally Lewis's field goal. 2 tries to Belcher for Southern Suburbs, and Meninga 1 goal from 3 attempts, Vivas none from 2. Canterbury man of the match.
I've given it to the hard-working Mal Green. He played well early in the match when things were tight and tough. There he is. That's what he'll be getting to. $200 worth of beautiful Canterbury gear, and he had a fine match, a real good forwards game, and he's a nice, tough customer. Fancies a tackle, but his attack tonight was rather good and rather solid as well.
And so there it is. Let's have a look at the statistics out of the match. Scrums ended up at 6 all, and the penalties narrowly Wynnum Manly way by 11 to 10. A bit of kicking going on in the match. Wynnum 21 occasions, South's 18. South's missed 16 tackles tonight as opposed to Wynnum's 8. That tells the story. Wynnum lost the ball on 16 occasions and South's on 13. So a pretty happy group down there of Wynnum Manly. And they've taken out the Winfield State League for 1984. Back with our NEC try of the match in just a moment. Presentation of medallions to the members of the winning team here tonight, but while we're doing that, let's have a look at the NEC try of the match coming up right now. The prize for this week is a 14-inch remote control colour TV. So here it is now, the try of the match. A lot of bit of stepping and weaving and dodging, and the man is going in for the try there is for Wynnum Manly. All you have to do is write his name on the entry form, which will be in the Daily Sun tomorrow. You could win this 14-inch remote control colour TV. And of course it's Quality Rank Arena. So that's the prize, your entry form in the Daily Sun tomorrow. So congratulations to Wynnum Manly on a good win here today.
Yes, they had a fine win. They powered Souths right out of the game. The defence was spot on, and that great attacking machine of Souths just couldn't get going.
On ABC Sport, this is the grand final of the Brisbane Rugby League between Redcliffe and Souths to determine the 1996 Premiership.
Welcome to the 1996 Brisbane Forex Premier League Grand Final. This competition has been a long-standing one, going way back to 1909. The tradition continues today, and it's the turn of Redcliffe and Southern Suburbs to do battle for the honour and the glory. Redcliffe, premiers 2 years ago. Southern Suburbs have been in the semi-finals the last few years running. Redcliffe, 2 weeks ago, beaten in a dramatic match for the Queensland Cup by Toowoomba.
The kick-off by Wayne Miller. Chips it downfield. There is a swirling breeze. That was an awkward one there. Over the head, there's Floyd Hill. He picks it up, but can only get it to around about 12 metres out. Souths have been nowhere near their opponent's try line until this point in time. There's Benson. Benson looks straight through. Held the ball out in front of me. Yeah, Benson held it up for a moment, then put the accelerator down. For some inexcusable reason, the Dolphins held off. And for that reason, Benson just said, thank you, I'm away. There was no extra men. They didn't need to hold off. They had the numbers.
You're dead right, David. It's been all Redcliffe to now. Souths have been making mistakes. They just managed to get the ball back after the penalty. Here's Benson. Plenty of defence there. Little hole opened up as he held up the ball in between Kahu Tweedy and Peter Robinson.
Favoured side, but hooks it. Not a good kick there from Floyd Hill. The score, 4 points to 0 after about 9 minutes of play.
And go straight towards the try line.
Got back behind his man in time. It's play on now. Gould with numbers out wide, fires the long pass. It's Shipway, tries to get outside, back inside is Hewinson. He looks for his fullback, gives it instead to O'Reilly. Great hands by Redcliffe, keeping it alive on the ground. Robinson scoots it back, chance for Kahu Tweedy, and it goes, it's Cotter. The big front row scores. Graham Cotter scores for Redcliffe. They kept the ball alive. There must have been some 15 passes involved as it went from one side of the field to the other.
Redcliffe knew they had to score from this play. They threw it everywhere. Tony Gill with the big long pass there. But just keep your eye on, there's all sorts of passing going on here, but Tony Gill just cleans up here just when Redcliffe needed it. The ball goes to the ground, and he comes from nowhere to scoop it up and set play going to the right-hand side of the field. And Graham Cotter, well, he's a confidence player, and this will do him the world of good.
4 all at the moment. Hits it very nicely. The wind will bring it around beautifully. Right down the middle. Great kick from Miller. He's in that side for Aaron Douglas, and he's out of the extras. The Dolphins lead by 6 points to 4. Could say inside out. There's Dinduck, gets around that first line of defence, and then Brimble from the inside grabs him by the scruff of the neck and throws him in a touch. The opportunity here for the Magpies. There's Nokon. Nokon lets one go, fires this long pass out into lane, out to Brimble. Brimble steps back to the inside. Where's it going to go? Brimble through 2. Great work from Mark Brimble. He had plenty of work to do when he got that ball. There were 2 players to beat, and Brimble raises his hand in acknowledgement of what was a fine try. Some good work on the inside too from Peter Nokon out to Lane, and then Brimble had all the work to do.
And the reason they had the extra man out here was because Mark Lane stood wide and Floyd Hill came from the far wing. Put enough pressure on the defence to give Brimble the chance there to beat 2 men with brilliant footwork. Great work.
Almost from the touchline. Hits it, squirts it out to the right-hand side. No goal, but the Magpies have the lead of 8 points to 6. Dummy half gets out of that position. Looks out there to Nokon. Nokon looks for a bit of support. Runs around behind one of his own players in Brendan Williams. And South, on the very second tackle of their recovery play, have once again given away an opportunity. Miller can square it all up. And there's the angle he's got. Hits it nicely again, curling it beautifully. Through. Miller squared it up. 8 all. Let's have a look here. There's Miller going down there, and you can see Buckley. He's just got him in tree. He was like a little train, just hanging onto the jersey as they're running along the field. And it was fairly obvious Buckley penalised for that. He wasn't going to let him get away. But has he allowed Redcliffe to get the lead at half-time? Wayne Miller, the perfect record so far. Hits it nicely again, curling around. Has he got the legs? Yes, he has. What a kick from Miller. What a selection, Wayne Miller, who has played very little first grade this year with Aaron Douglas in the side. Aaron Douglas.
Because we know in the Queensland Cup final that Toowoomba were complaining about Redcliffe's tactics.
Pass held up there from Floyd. There's Jared Williams back on the inside to Buckley. He's in a bit of space. Looks for support. Finds support. I think it was Mick Davis. He's brought down on the 6th tackle.
Chance to get some good field position.
Yeah, we talked about that, mate. We talked about that, you know. He wasn't.
Oh, South's very close.
O'Grady is over the line.
Get it down.
Held up was the one that was called forward, going across the play. I didn't think it was. The white line to me said it was fine.
Well,
but the referee, there's the one that counts.
I'll stand in the middle and say it was flat. But either way, Souths are over the line twice within 60 seconds, unable to get a 4-pointer. From Williams. They're back on the 30, Redcliffe. O'Reilly wraps around Gould. Now gets it out to Tweedy. A little flat-footed, though, this time as the South defence comes up. They've escaped the trap. Robinson handballs it on to Miller. He's got men outside. They both go inside. Miller pops it back nicely. Great football here. Hurren's still going. Hurren tries. Did it go? To Smallhorn. Smallhorn scores for Redcliffe. There's the reward for the persistent attack that they've shown in the last couple of minutes. After the dropout, they came back at Souths again. There from the hooker Smallhorn. Here's Hinchy.
slipping it away. Out it goes to O'Reilly, and they keep it alive.
Good work from Robinson. He just batted it on. Miller was in a bit of space there. Floyd Hill had gone up to try and block the passes. There's Miller, does beautifully to get it back on the inside. And Cameron Hurren, he knew someone was going to be there. He realised it was late in the tackle count. Pops the pass up. Smallhorn, who backs up beautifully, scores the try after. The way he's been kicking, you'd have to think he was a certainty. And he's hooked it. So the Dolphins retain a lead of 6 points.
I think Lane was desperate to get it to the overlap, and he forced the pass.
Offside.
It on.
Offside inside the 10, and you would have to think Wayne Miller, who demanded the kick.
Wayne Miller, not far off centre field, puts it up high, brings it straight between the posts, judges the breeze perfectly, hits it well.
Tackle.
Brimble never got a chance at it. Here they go on the last tackle. They're close.
Must be offside.
Buckley dives and he's over. No, he's over. The referee's awarded a try. Shane Buckley's in for Souths. They hit back just when they needed the try. Great break made by Williams on the end of a long pass from Nocon to take them to within 10 metres, and then Buckley used his strength to force his way over at 16-12 in favour of Redcliffe.
The Magpies back in the match. Williams got that pass, a good pass it was from Nocon. Got on the outside there of Gould. Away goes Williams, only one to beat, and that was Denduck. Brimble was coming up on his left-hand side. Williams tries the step. Denduck covers him pretty well. South needed a quick play the ball. There was some suggestion there of a knock-on. Brimble picks it up. O'Grady takes those couple of paces that were oh so important, and the experience of Shane Buckley to surge forward, the strength of Buckley to get across the try line. That was the last tackle. They had only that chance.
Which just didn't have time to regroup.
Sean O'Grady taking the kicks. Missed another one, the Magpies. So the score remains 16 points to 12.
On their own 20, the Magpies. Nocon throws a long pass to Buckley. Out now to Aloose, who's lingering in the centres. Buckley still going. Benson throws the dummy, has Brimble outside, goes back inside. Buckley crashes his way over the halfway. 25 seconds to go, still a couple of tackles up their sleeve. Williams, through the hands of O'Grady. Wakefield to Nocon. Oh, Brown puts it down. Shane Brown puts it down.
That's the grand final.
Shane Brown had the chance, he couldn't hang on to it.
Redcliffe have done it. They come back after 2 weeks.
That's time. Full time in the grand final. Full time. Redcliffe hanging on to their 4-point lead. Are under pressure. South threw plenty at them, but it's the Dolphins who are the 1996 Brisbane Premiers, defeating Southern Suburbs 16 points to 12. But they had to weather plenty from the Magpies.
Well, they sure did. South at the end of the day have scored 3 tries to 2, but that doesn't matter. It's points on the board that count, and Redcliffe, through the kicking of Wayne Miller, they've come home. And there's the elation of victory for the Redcliffe Dolphins. And there'll be plenty of celebrations down on the peninsula. They won the grand final 2 years ago here, and now they've managed to come back again. They always felt that they were a good chance even last year. And there's the victory song for the Redcliffe Dolphins, and Wally Fulton-Smith, of course, who is an ex-Redcliffe player, would be very, very happy with the performance from his old club. Danny Nutley, there he is, gets to his feet, holds the cup. He's still got enough strength to get the cup in the air, and he's had an outstanding season.